Hey Arthur and Arthur's students. Hey, how you doing? So, Arthur and I have been talking about conflict resolution in the classroom, and I was talking to him about my students, and you've seen some of their videos. And then I was expressing to Arthur some trepidation about activity that I did with my kids. It actually kind of failed. And I said it would be really great if you guys could help me out with that. And the first thing I wanted you to help me out with was taking a look at the conflict diagram. I sent a hard copy of this, or an e-copy, to Arthur, and he was going to share it with you. This is the conflict diagram that me and Ida and Crystal came up with. And it's a pretty cool diagram, although I think it might be missing some elements, or maybe it's just a little bit too confusing for the kids. I don't know. I don't know if it's the problem is the diagram or maybe the activity I decided to do. But I would like you to take a look at this, and with the higher learning that you, the philosophy and theory that you guys are doing, I thought maybe having some of those eyes taking a look at this in general would be really great. Now this is the conflict diagram, not the resolution diagram. So thank you for taking a look at that. So let me tell you a little bit about the activity. So really what I wanted was to do kinesthetic, a movement lesson with the kids. I've got a lot of active sixth graders who really kind of need to move around. So I was trying to think of an activity where the kids would actually move through the diagram. So my original thought was to have each kid be assigned to one of the squares. So two people would be the people in conflict, another person would be the interaction, another person would be the differences. And I went up into the gym and kind of laid it all out and had the kids stand at their different places that they were supposed to be. And what I soon discovered is that it caused a lot of confusion. All the kids held signs to show what they were assigned to, person one, person two, interaction itself, and then I had 3 of these: difference in values, morals, and needs. And then I had a kid who was the so what, positive behavior. Then I had negative behavior, which led to the start of the conflict. The return, negative behavior, now we have a problem, right? And then the increase in negative behavior, conflict will either then decrease with positive behavior or increase with, or decrease with positive behavior or increase with negative behavior. And then I had some kids assigned to the choice cards. And what they did is kind of run around where they believe a choice was being taken place. And I really wanted them to focus in on that, to figure out where they had a choice and where there was possible control within a conflict. Power in middle school is a really big thing, and choice is power. And so that this whole idea of choice is kind of important to me too. So so when I had the kids do it and they were all assigned the different blocks and had it all worked out, and then 2 kids kind of moved through the conflict that I presented, and it was over donuts. I had the one kid got more donuts than the other, so something really simple. But when I moved through it, each person that they met, I don't know, it was too complicated, and the kids couldn't see the full picture. So now what I'm leaning toward is I still really want it to be a kinesthetic lesson, but what I'm thinking is, I don't know, maybe you guys can think about this. I'm thinking about maybe putting these on the floor as almost like stepping stones, almost like moving through a board game. And then 2 kids would move through the conflict that I kind of narrated, and then they would have to go through the diagram depending on how the conflict went. So if the conflict ended positively, of course it would end sooner and would be off the diagram, and then if it increased, it would go this way. So they would have to kind of analyze the conflict that I narrated and move through it. The issue with that is I need a lot of narrated conflicts. Yeah, I would need at least 7 to narrate those, and they'd all have to have a different outcome so that the kids wouldn't automatically know that this is where I'm going and this is where I'm going, that they'd actually have to think at every step of the way. So that's kind of where I'm thinking of headed. So I'd like you to take a look at that idea. If any of you have a better idea or an idea you'd like me to try with the kids, I would love it. I am more than willing to kind of be, and my kids are too, to be the guinea pigs. If you guys have an idea that I could try out. In addition to that, I was wondering if maybe you could help me out with some of those narrative scenarios that end differently at different parts of the conflict diagram. Maybe it's solved quickly, maybe it increases and never does decrease, or of course an outcome of decreasing the conflict. So 3 things I need from you. I need you to take a look at this and think if it's, and let me know if you think it's on target or if you have any suggestions about that. I'd like you to take a look at the activity in general and see if there's anything that you may suggest in tweaking that. And then the last thing would be if any of you are interested in possibly helping me come up with some scenarios that would help the kids move through the diagram and have different outcomes. That would be really great, and I really appreciate it, and putting some of your wise ideas to work here in the real world. I'd appreciate that. You all have a nice day. Bye.